Welcome to Giant Ability TV.
The pregnancy of a new Nigeria. With barely less than a week to the 2023 general elections in Nigeria, cases of political violence are increasing on a daily basis, with lives of innocent citizens lost, INEC facilities destroyed, and the threat of unimaginable destruction also on the rise. The question that demands answers from Nigerians is whether the civic responsibility of electing leaders into position of authority is worth the lives of innocent citizens. Personally, the thought that races through my mind and pauses it also is if there is anyone who was born into this world on a certain day that no one else was born, and if there is anyone who has died or shall die on a day that no one else has or shall die. In other words, this is like trying to research if there is anyone who has the monopoly of the day of birth or the day of death. The truth remains that no matter how long we live on this earth, death remains the only certain thing. And with that in mind, wisdom automatically behoves on us caution and restraint. When and where leaders and the followers err in vision, they stumble in judgment. Nigeria is believed to be the largest economy and democracy in Africa, but unfortunately lacks a commensurate peace, progress, and stability. Recall that the major presidential aspirants of the four leading political parties were invited to the Chatham House in London on the grounds of interacting with the world regarding what their manifestos are and how they intend to bring their promises to the people to pass. As ordinary as this development may seem, to a perceptive and a politically matured mind, it amounts to making a mockery of what Nigeria considers as her best.
My record is consistent. And the school and the university, they question. They now confess that they wasted their money and their time. The record is there. The transcript is there. So in March 1952, I'm not claiming another father. I am Tinubu and Tinubu proper. If they want a DNA, they could as well require for one. One of them has been even accused of not being a Nigerian citizen. I didn't touch that area. Equally, it remains to be seen. Deloitte, Chicago State University, where I graduated, has attested to that. Now I can announce that I've received my original replacement degree certificate from them. The Deloitte trained me as an accounting firm. Mobile has attested to my record, a standing record. I got to the pinnacle of my career. And the private sector, who among them can brag about? Now, yes, you want to wrestle with the pig, you got to live with the dirt. That's what I'm doing. I go into politics. We are knowing fully well that it's a muddy water. Small will come. You will have to live with the dirt.
What has the United Kingdom done since independence to help the country Nigeria progress? Recall that the United Kingdom is one of the countries that deserted Nigeria after the security advisory was given by the United States of America. This is hypocrisy at its best, for it is wise not to have respect for any country which initiates an action in which it has no risk to incur, but only what to gain. Think of this saying and consider it a dictum. Hereditary bondsman, know ye not who too will be free themselves, must strike the blow. Fear the goat from the front, the horse from the rear, and the man from all sides. Once beaten, twice shy. Freedom, more importantly, is a thing of the mind, for one can be politically free and remain mentally enslaved. The role of the international community as far as the 2023 elections is concerned must be made clear and explicitly so. Observations by the international observers has been nothing other than a tradition, in that it has added nothing to the advancement of democracy in Nigeria. Think of this. Those countries that will be sending observers to monitor elections are those who have earlier fled the country on the grounds of insecurity. Now, coming back just for the purpose of observing elections is, to say the least, hypocritical. For what that infers is that as long as they, the observers, have the guarantee of being protected, especially by security agents, it does not matter to them what becomes of Nigerians in terms of security of lives and property. Do you blame them? If ourselves do not value our lives and consider the safety of our citizens as important, why should others take responsibility? A good analogy of our relationship with some of the countries that Nigeria considers as our allies, especially the United Kingdom, could be summed up in this saying that one should tell his poor relatives how fast he is losing money and his rich relatives how fast he is making it. This translates into behavioral, where the poor get poorer by pretending to be rich, and the rich get richer by pretending to be poor. Wonders shall not cease, especially where the Commonwealth of Nations remains as a preserve of the slave masters. Judge not of actions by their mere effects, dive to the center and cause detect. Great deeds from meanest springs may take their course, and smallest virtues from a mighty source. Alexander Pope. The security situation in Nigeria is of a serious concern, and as things unfold, one wonders if INEC and the security agents are sincere in their pronouncements about their readiness to conduct a free, fair and credible election. It is of no use giving false assurances when in reality the lives and property of Nigerians are constantly under attack. The security challenges experienced in Rivers State, where at a rally there was an explosion and gunshots, as well as the attack on the supporters of the Labour Party in Lagos rally on Saturday, February 11, are just a few of the incidents pointing to the uncertainty of the smooth conduct of the general elections scheduled to hold on February 25, 2023. The atmosphere is tense and the politics is getting heated by the day, and with no guarantee that the security agents are on top of these challenges. The suffering of the masses with regards to the new currency design and the controversy trailing the swapping of the new currency with the old ones are a factor that contributes to the uncertainty of the journey to the promised land. Don't forget that 3 states of the ruling party APC, namely Kaduna, Zamfara and Kogi, took the APC-led government to court on this matter. With these developments, how can the ruling party of the APC absolve itself from the plan to make the election go in its favor, even though the President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to leave Nigeria safer than he met it and to bequeath to Nigerians a free, fair and credible election? Nigerians should not deceive themselves when they are being deceived. The leopard, come rain, come sunshine, cannot change a sport. Americans, as the custodian of true democracy and the beacon of light, and a passionate belief in freedom and in the worth and dignity of the human personality, is hereby called upon to be proactive by giving a helping hand that democracy in Nigeria may not be bastardized by autocrats and tyrants who clothe themselves in the regalia of democrats. To fellow Nigerians, it is unfortunate where we find ourselves at this critical moment in the history of the country. There is no doubt that there is a promised land ahead, but getting into it requires great sacrifice. To be made into wine, one would have to be crushed, for no one drinks grapes. Wise men have said, persistence can ground an iron beam down into a needle, and most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Where you see all kinds of threats and violence reactions by a group of people or parties, especially the ruling party against the other, one does not need a seer to be told that their time is expiring, and vengeance from above on them looms. The truth that cannot be altered remains. We say we want a renewal of character in our day, but we don't really know what we ask for. To have a renewal of character is to have a renewal of cradle order that constrains, limits, binds, obligates, and compels. This price is too high for us to pay. We want character but without conviction. We want strong morality but without emotional burden of guilt and shame. We want virtue but without particular moral justification that invariably offend. We want good without having to name evil. We want decency without the authority to insist upon it. We want a moral community without any limitations to personal freedom. In short, we want what we cannot possibly have on the term that we want it. James Davidson Hunter. On a final note, listen to me and pay close attention. Does a farmer always plow and never sow? Is he forever cultivating the soil and never planting? Does he not finally plant a seed, black cumin, wheat barley, emerald wheat, each in its proper way and each in its proper place? The farmer knows just what to do. God has given him understanding. A heavy sledge is never used to thresh black cumin. Rather, it is beaten with a light stick. A threshing wheel is never rolled on cumin. Instead, it is beaten lightly with a flail. Grain for bread is easily crushed, so he doesn't keep on pounding it. He threshes it under the wheel of a cart, but he doesn't pulverize it. The Lord of Heaven Armies is a wonderful teacher, and he gives the farmer great wisdom. Do not forget that whatever a man sows, that he shall also reap. You cannot sow mangoes and expect to reap pineapples. The wickedness of the wicked shall slay him, and there can be no peace for the wicked. Enough of these manipulations. Nigerians are no robots, but great people with great destinies that cannot be changed. The victory is sure, and with God on our side, Nigeria is pregnant with a baby of change, and this pregnancy must be sustained and not aborted.
I spoke about Biafra being ended 53 years ago. I condemn all agitators, but in condemning them, you have to look at what brought about these agitations all over the place. It's not only IPOB.
He even said people are agitating in his house.
When people start seeing justice, fairness, and inclusive government and doing the right thing, all those things will start reversing itself. And that is what me and that is offering. I will talk and discuss with all agitators.
Thank you for watching.